I'm Nira Berry. I'm a life and happiness coach and speaker, and your host of Happy and Healthy, where we explore and discover all the many ways of keeping you feeling happy and healthy. And remember to stay tuned to the end for my Good to Know segment, where I've always got something really good to share with you. So today I'm really excited. I've been waiting to have my guest on. I'm going to have Lauren Chelec Cafritz, and she is a breath worker and also the author of Breath Love. So please welcome Lauren. Lauren, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm really excited about it, especially during these times. I feel like that breathing is, it's something that we all do, first of all. It's very intuitive. So I'd like to find out more about it. Can you tell us, what exactly is the field of breath work?
Sure. I mean, a really simple definition of breath work is a conscious, connected breath that promotes wellness. It's really simple. So we do breathing every day, right? If we just walk around breathing, we're not thinking about it, we're using the amygdala, the primitive part of our brain. But the minute we take a conscious breath, we light up the prefrontal cortex, the higher reasoning part of the brain. So our breath affects so much about what we do. And breath work in particular, for me, is a powerful modality that helps people who have depression or sadness or anxiety find a place of calm and balance.
Wow. Well, just hearing you speak about it is calming me down. So Lauren, can you tell us, how did you get into this? Because I know that you've been really on the forefront of bringing it to the public, and so I'd like to know how you first found yourself in this field.
So I wish I could say, I was so enlightened and I just hopped and skipped into breath work. But I was dragged to breath work. I literally could not turn my neck. Our son was 9 months old, and lifting him, everything, I just couldn't turn my neck. And so it turns out surgery was necessary. And I'm like, no, there's got to be something else. I have a 9-month-old, and I went to a breath worker. And it was amazing. During my first breath session, I started to understand that the pain in my neck was both physical and emotional. And it was riveting. And I sat up and I'm like, why isn't everyone doing this? And then slowly over time with yoga and breath work, no surgery, neck works. It was just miraculous. So I just kept going to learn more and more.
Wow. So that's really amazing. I can feel your passion. So when can you tell us about breathwork as a healing modality? When did this really become as something that is a healing modality? Because obviously people have been breathing always, and I know I'm sure it's something that's been a healing modality for thousands of years. It seems like it should be, but is it?
It is. It's been around for a long time. Breath has always been there in one way or another. If you go to religions, the mystical part of them, they all have a piece with breath in them. And so even the word respiration, re-spiritus, rebreathing in spirit, the breath is so powerful. And what's been happening is people are coming to it more and more now because they're seeing incredible results. So when they get a result, they tell their friend. I teach right now on some Monday nights in Bethesda, Maryland at a place called the Mindfulness Center, but right now I'm doing everything virtual, and that always changes. I'll work with one person, and then the next week they'll come with 2 or 3 family members, their kids, their husband, their sister. And I think also people are understanding not only is it helping their physical ailments, but it's helping them emotionally, and it's helping their relationships. So I've noticed that families that breathe together stay together. For me, the emotional piece of breath work is a crucial piece, because when we're emotionally balanced, it does affect our physical being.
Can you give me examples of some of the types of situations where breath work can really benefit? Maybe give me examples of people that you've helped.
So One story that's just fast is I was skiing, and as I was going down a slope, this woman had a bad spill in front of me, and I came up to her and I'm like, "Can I help you? I'm a breath worker. Would you like to breathe with me?" While my husband was trying to get ski patrol. And she barely nodded. And I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to put my hand on your belly. Is that okay?" And she nodded. And I said, "Breathe into my hand." And so she's breathing. And by the time we got to the 10th breath, she could talk. And then by the time the ski patrol came, she could laugh with them. Another fast example is when I stubbed my toe at a grocery store on one of those fruit carts. It was wooden fruit carts. And I heard a voice say to me, "Practice what you preach," because the pain was so intense. And so I breathed into it and I allowed myself to feel that wave of pain. And by the time I hit my third breath, the pain was gone. I walked throughout the grocery store. Usually when I stub my toe, I'll feel the pain through each aisle So being with your breath, feeling whatever sensations are there, is one piece of it. I've had people who have asthma come for breathwork sessions, and they will clutch their inhalers at the beginning of the session. And I said, "Are you sure you need that?" And they're like, "I don't know, but I need to keep it." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Whatever, however you feel comfortable." Midway in the session, their hands open and the inhaler is gone. It's rolled out of their hands. By the end of the session, almost every time when someone with bad asthma will sit up and go, "I didn't need it once. Look at all that breathing I did." And so learning how to consciously connect your breath, whether it's a tiny breath or a big breath, it helps you deal with the emotional piece of being afraid of not being able to breathe. And it also helps open your breath and being able to take a bigger breath. And also, I teach people with asthma how to do what I call mouse breathing, that you don't need a very big breath. And so when they have something that happens, because some people panic when they can't breathe. And so when they just are calm and they start taking these little mouse breaths until their regular breath can come back in again, it keeps them calmer, and it's amazing. So there's a lot of anxiety right now in general. And then there's a lot of anxiety around breathing for many reasons. And so the first thing to do is so when you're anxious, how does anxiety feel in your body? Like if you had to use Mad Lib descriptors, how would it feel inside you?
Everything very tightly wound and tense.
Tight and tense. Okay. So for me, when I feel anxious, I feel wiry and hot. So we would each take our words, we would close our eyes and breathe fully with that sensation of, in your case, that tight and tense. And allow yourself, bring up a situation that makes you feel anxious and allow yourself to fully feel tight and tense, and just take about 10 breaths with that tight and tense. And then what begins to happen as you breathe with it?
I personally just now felt like it was, I was feeling calmer and just more opening up more, like not like when I get tense, I think I feel like my jaw clenches and things like that. Even, you feel like tight. So I feel like things just opened up more, just more fluid.
And that was like maybe 5 breaths you just took. So what I love to do with people in breath work is to help them feel comfortable feeling sensations. Like some people just don't like feeling. They're like, "Give me a pill I don't want to feel," And so the minute they say, all right, let's see what this feeling stuff is like, and they start breathing with sensations, they become a lot calmer. So when you take emotion and break it down, emotion is energy in motion. And in my book, Breath Love, I really take this down to the granular, so it's really easily understood. So So emotion is energy in motion. When you're not afraid to feel that energy, tight, wiry, hot, and you breathe with it and you feel it, you integrate it and you heal it, and it moves. Energy in motion. So a lot of times things happen, and like an emotional attack, someone will call it, and it has a physical thing that happens in our body. And so when you learn to breathe and do this conscious connected breathing, you're having releases. And sometimes you have no idea what you're releasing. Your eyes could cry, you could start giggling. Sometimes we're holding back our joy or we're holding back our tears. And as you do this conscious connected breathing, you're feeling sensations, you're breathing with them, you're releasing them. And by the time you're done, you feel buzzy or tingly or a lot calmer.
Wow. Well, this is really something that we could all benefit from right now, especially with everything that's going on in our crazy world, right? This is just, and I know that I've actually have been to your classes to try it out, and with my husband, and it's amazing how it really works. It's something that you think. It's so simplistic, but it really does have an effect, and it's something really worthwhile. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with Lauren, and she's going to talk more about breathing and how we can benefit. I'm Nira Berry, your host of Happy and Healthy, and so stay tuned.
I'm Dr. Alia Jones, Deputy Secretary of the Maryland Department of Health's Behavioral Health Administration. There's a balance between understanding that the coronavirus impacts you as well as older people and avoiding panic or anxiety about this illness. Follow guidelines, stay away from other people as much as possible, and keep up healthy habits. Also realize that if you feel anxious or depressed, you are not alone. There are resources online to help you.
Use your head, slow the spread. This message brought to you by the Maryland Department of Health.
Hi, I'm Nira Berry, your host of Happy and Healthy. Welcome back. We're speaking with Lauren, and she's going to speak to us about deep breathing, breath work. And so, Lauren, let me ask you, what are some deep breathing techniques that we can use right now to boost our immune system?
People have been sending me clips they've seen online, and, this deep breathing looks scary, and how do I do it? And so what I've done is I've broken it down into something I call a balloon breath. So if you lean back in your chair right now and take about 3 deep breaths into the back of your chair. So your back spreads and then contracts. And one more. And then close your eyes and feel for a minute. Beautiful. Open your eyes. Okay, now we're going to do a side breath. So everyone needs more hugs right now. So you can hug yourself or put your hands on either side, whichever you're more comfortable doing. And then we're going to close our eyes and we're going to breathe our hands apart on the inhale and back in on the exhale. Here we go. One more. Keep your eyes closed and feel. Notice if you feel any buzzing or tingling, any stuck energy or moving energy. Beautiful. Okay, eyes open. And now we'll do the front body before we bring it all together. So the front body I break into 2 parts. So I'm going to stand up so you can see my belly. So as you inhale, the belly goes out. As you exhale, the belly comes back in. So we're going to do 3 belly breaths to start. And you can close your eyes. And for some people, we hold a lot of emotion in our bellies. And so some people have blocked this area off, and it's very hard to get the belly to move. And some people, this is really easy, and it's just good information to know right now. So 2 hands on your belly, close your eyes. Here we go, 3 breaths. Belly out on the inhale, back in on the exhale. One more. Close your eyes and feel. Beautiful. Open your eyes. So the second piece for the front body is that we're going to take a full diaphragmatic breath. And why a diaphragmatic breath is important is it lowers your cortisol and adrenaline in your blood. So it literally changes your blood chemistry. It's really yummy. So we're going to put a hand on the belly and one on your chest. You're going to breathe into the lower hand first and to the upper hand, and then let it go. And you're here. I'm making some noisy sighs because noise helps us release tension. And I think everyone right now could, loosen and get a little less tense. So here we go again. 3 deep breaths. Again, 2 more. Close your eyes. One more. Close your eyes and feel. Maybe feel more energy starting to bubble. Okay, now open your eyes. Now we're going to do a balloon breath. It's going to be all sides. We're going to breathe our front and back apart. We're going to breathe our sides out like we're a human balloon. So again, we're going to lean back into our chairs. And this time we're going to take 7 deep, full balloon breaths. And you can use your mouth or your nose, whatever you're most comfortable with. All day long right now, we need to use our nose because there's a filtration system and it helps keep us healthy. But when we do breath work, a lot of times at the beginning of the session, I like people to use their mouth and then switch to their nose. So here we go, 7 deep breaths. Hand on belly, 1 on chest, breathing into the back, the front, and the sides. Here we go. With every inhale, let all sides of you open. Three more. Two more. One more. Keep your eyes closed and feel. Safe to feel energy. I am safe. And then gently, and when you're ready, just open your eyes.
That was a very calming and relaxing experience. I'm sure everybody could agree with that. Let me ask you another question about that. Does that actually strengthen our lungs, our lung capacity?
So deep, slow breathing does so many good things for you. One of the studies I read said that as we do these deep, slow breaths, our heart gets in sync with our breath, so it lowers blood pressure. Deep, slow breathing is a calming agent. There's so many amazing things. So when we're tight and constricted, telling someone take a balloon breath without doing the warm-up we just did might be really hard. My sister has some lung issues, and so she went to have a test done. And she said, I can't breathe properly. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've seen your beautiful breath. She said, I went to take this test. And so anyway, I went on a distant walk with her recently. And in the middle of the street, I'm like, all right, close your eyes. And in the middle of the street, I had her do a mouse breath. And then we built it to a kitten breath, to a dog breath, to a lion breath. And she did it. And I said, you were just nervous and tight. So sometimes we just have to take our time to build it and to work it and to grow a beautiful full breath.
I can see that because I felt as we were doing it, I was growing my breath in places that I never even knew that my breath went into, like, breathing in the sides, expanding in the front and the back at the same time. That's just amazing. That really was something that I didn't even know, that we could do. I mean, obviously we do it, but just to consciously breathe into your sides like that, that was really interesting. So you mentioned that your sister has lung issues, but what if somebody has a cough or a cold? Is this a time that maybe they should not do deep breathing, or will this actually help facilitate the healing?
So a funny story I like to tell people is one of my longtime clients called me, this is a couple years ago, and she's like, I have the flu, but I really need to breathe. And I just listened into my heart and I'm like, you know what? Calm. I'm glad I didn't tell my husband I did this. So she came to the house, and the very first half of the session, she went through a half a box of my tissue. And she could barely breathe, and she was miserable. By the end of the session, she didn't need one tissue, and she felt so much better. So, I always say, listen to your inside, your inner guidance. Even people with colds, every time I have a cold, the first thing I do is breath work because it boosts my immune system. I start to feel clearer and better. I remove all the emotional gunk that goes along with being sick, so I have more energy to heal.
That's wonderful. So I thank you so much, Lauren, for all this wonderful information. And if people wanted to find out more, how can they reach you? Can you give us your website?
Sure. It's breathlove.com. And Breath Love is the name of the book, so you could get it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and all sorts of places. I teach Monday nights. I teach workshops. So if you go to breathlove.com, you can see workshops coming up and where I teach Monday nights for now, and who knows in the future which days.
Thank you so much, Lauren. I really appreciate you giving us such really, really valuable information. And I know that I could personally use all this, and I know many people that can. So I hope, I'm sure our audience will utilize it. So thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your light all over the place.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And to you the same. So we're going to continue with our next segment of Good to Know. So I'm Nira Berry, your host of Happy and Healthy. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The outbreak of the coronavirus may be particularly frightening for children. When parents and caregivers talk about the coronavirus calmly and confidently, they can provide the best support. Parents can be more reassuring when they are prepared. Help children express their feelings by creating a safe and supportive environment. Answer questions and share facts, but limit their exposure to the media. Help children have a sense of structure. Be a role model, take breaks, get plenty of sleep, and eat well. There are resources online to help support your family through this difficult time. Please use them to help your family stay healthy mentally and physically.
This message brought to you by the Maryland Department of Health.
Hi, I'm Nira Berry, life and happiness coach, speaker, and your host of Happy and Healthy. And now it's time for Good to Know. And as part of my series on success at work and in life, today I'm going to share with you a few ideas on managing stress. These days, the world can be a scary place, whether it's COVID-19, worrying about job security, or just seeing injustice in our world on the news every night. It can be tough for us to digest all this. Almost every day, there are new developments in our world. And it may feel like the ground beneath your feet is just shaking and moving constantly. It feels like it's changing, right? So many of my life coaching clients have shared with me that the worst part of it is that they just feel like they have lost control of their life. And so if you're feeling like this, I want to reassure you that you're not alone. Here are a few tips that we can all use to help regain our footing. And remember that we're all going through this unusually tough time together, and we'll come out together. So one of the ways is really finding ways to stay socially connected. And it's really important for us to help us cope, especially during tough times. And one of the ways that I suggest is to really connect with other people, like either by phone or even like across the fence. I mean, just talk it out. Just talk. Just talk it out. And you'll see, like, you'll feel a little bit of a lift. Like I know I do, the more I connect with other people and talk. And remember, it's always okay to ask for help. People naturally want to help you. And you can even pool resources together. And of course, don't be shy to seek out a professional's help during this time as well. Often, we may not realize that we're worrying a lot about our future. Our minds start wandering and our pulse starts to beat harder and faster, right? So I recommend that you try this. Like, you can just do anything to just shift your mindset. Like I call it, like, snap yourself into positive and present. And for example, you can really just let out a really big belly laugh. Let's just go, or snap your fingers, or maybe take in a deep inhale. All these techniques really can bring you to the focus, to focus on the present. I mean, you can make up whatever works for you. I tend to want to laugh really loud, or stand up and jump up and down and do jumping jacks. And lastly, I always say to focus on what you can do, because many of us, as you know, are in situations where we just can't control the world of what's going around us. So I always say to recommend to take care of yourself and your neighbors and your own responsibilities. And most importantly, be kind to one another and to yourself. Have compassion for yourself. It's a tough time. So focus on all the good around you. Notice the things that give you joy and comfort. And you could even give everyone you see today a compliment. So that way you keep focusing on the positive. And when you keep yourself looking for the good in people and in situations, you'll see that you actually feel good. So give these ideas a try and let me know how they work out for you. You can reach me, Nira Berry, the happiness coach, at info@niraberry.com. Thanks for watching Happy and Healthy. I'm Nira Berry, your host, and I hope you have a happy day.